So on page 495, we're talking about all the things that we went through yesterday. Remember, there's a little chart up above this that'll help you out a little bit. But some of the things aren't necessarily on there. So let's go down to the little diagram for 3 through 5. Everybody see what I'm looking at?
You already did that.
I know we already did that, but I want you to think about this. Don't say it out loud. What vocabulary word would we call 1 and 2? Everybody got an answer?
Yes.
What do you think?
Supplementary.
No.
What? Vertical angles. Yes, 1 and 2 are vertical angles.
Yeah.
What about 2 and 3?
Interior.
Okay, they could be interior angles. What else? Why? Why do you say supplementary?
No, they can. Oh, wait. No, they wouldn't.
Everybody see 2 and 3 that I'm looking at?
Yeah.
2 and 3.
Complementary.
Adjacent.
Are those next to each other?
No.
No.
Diagonal?
Okay, they're diagonal to each other. What? Alternate interior angles. See how they're inside my parallel lines?
Yep.
And they're on opposite sides of the transversal?
Yeah.
So, if my lines are parallel, which the direction said, what is true about alternate interior angles? They're congruent. Exactly right. So, how can we describe angles 3 and 4 together?
Adjacent.
Okay, we could call them adjacent. What else? Supplementary, right? What does it mean if angles are supplementary? They add up to 180, and how do we know that? Because they make a what?
Line.
Straight line. Okay? What's the kind of opposite of supplementary angles? Complementary, which means they add up to what? 90. So either they're on the same angle and we'd have to have a box in there, or they would just have to show you the degree measure. Okay? How about number 6? What would we call those two angles in number 6?
Vertical angle.
Vertical angles. And what's true about all vertical angles? They're the same degree or they're congruent. Exactly right. What would we call number 7's angles? Supplementary again. And how do I find x? Awesome. All right. Now think about number 8. If the measure of angle n equals 3x, and the measure of angle m is equal to 2x, and angle m and angle n are supplementary, what is the measure of each angle? Can I do that?
Yes.
How? What does it mean when it says m and n are supplementary? They add up to 180, right? So if they give you individually that one is 3x and one is 2x, what do I do with 3x and 2x? Add them together and set them equal to 180. So, well, essentially you're going to divide. Yes, later. But before you get to the division part, you would have to take 3x plus 2x equals 180.
So you divide 180 by 5.
Divide 180 by 5. And then here's the question. Are those two angles going to be the same degree measure? Could they?
No.
There's no way that they could? Not in this problem, but could two angles that are supplementary be the same measure?
If they're both right.
If they're both right angles, right? What happens if two lines intersect and form a 90 degree? What do we call them? Perpendicular. What's my symbol for perpendicular? An upside down T. What is, why are parallel lines parallel?
Because they will never come.
Same slope.
They have the same slope. What's my symbol for parallel lines?
Vertical lines.
2 vertical lines. The play button would be on your parallel lines. All right? Any questions with any of all that stuff?
Why is there no play button
Where?
in the book?
What do you mean in the book?
There's
Okay, so this is a great question. I don't know if you all heard Grace. She said, why isn't there little play buttons in the book? Well, this is where the directions come back into play, right? So when you turn the page for your homework, it says in the figure at the right, G is parallel to H. So they specifically tell you that in the directions. That's the same thing as putting those play buttons on your thing. So if they put the play buttons on, then they wouldn't have to say that in the directions. But if they say it in the directions, then you can go and put your own play buttons on there, but you don't have to put them on there. They're telling you that. Does that make sense? So they have to have one or the other. You cannot just assume that figure G and H would be parallel unless they specifically tell you. The only other way that they could do it is to tell you the slopes of those lines, maybe. And if the slopes are the same, then you automatically know that they are. Okay? And you'll learn then later on there's a special relationship with the slopes of perpendicular lines too. Okay? I think you'll learn that next year.
Wait, I forgot. What are when you have numbers on the outside, both on outside with the straight up to each other? What's the
What an example would be what?
4 and 7?
On which page?
Or like 1 and 4.
4 and 7, there's not anything that 4 and 7 are together.
Oh.
The only thing you could say is angle 4 and angle 7 would both be exterior angles, but they don't have a special relationship. That makes sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
for like the graph on this page.
Yep.
Would the line that is horizontal be the transversal one?
Yes. So this one's just drawn a little different than the one we looked at yesterday, right? Our parallel lines were drawn horizontal and our transversal was the slanted one. Now this one, the transversal is the horizontal and my parallel lines are the slanted ones. Exactly right. So they're not always going to be exactly the same way.
Where's that at?
That is the figure on the right for 10 through 15.
What?
Page 4.
Oh, the turn was like this? Oh.
There you go. Yeah. So
Oh.
if you notice what he did, you go ahead and turn your book. If that helps you. If you turn your book like this, then it's kind of how we had it yesterday, right? So you can really turn your book however you want it. And then maybe that'll help you with doing some of those problems by what we did on the board yesterday.
Like out of that thing, which one would be like an example of alternate interior and alternate exterior?
Alternate interior would be 2 and 8. They're inside my parallel lines and they're on the opposite sides of the transversal diagonal to each other.
So
Alternate exterior angles would be like 4 and 1
Oh,
5 and
okay.
7.
or 5 and 7. Yeah, exactly right. All right. So you got the rest of the time to work on this.
Yeah.
Make sure that you take your time, and if you have any questions, make sure you ask questions, please.